Hi, I'm Dr. Keith Johnson. Well, you've heard the old scenario. You want the good news or the bad news first? There's always good news. There's always bad news. Let's start with the bad news. You're worried. You're insecure. You're not ready for the problems you've been facing. You got too many bills. You don't feel well. You don't know what's wrong with you, and you can't move as fast as you used to. Things aren't operating the way they used to. And no matter how hard you try, people don't seem to like you as much. People that you care about are irritated with you. That's the bad news. Some of the bad news is it's some your fault. Not all of it. Not all of it is your fault. You didn't create everything. There are people that feel bad. They just feel bad on their own. There are things that happen that aren't good that you don't like. There are things that you don't like that you're doing or who knows what. So there are just things that we just don't appreciate, when things that are happening that we're not happy with and we don't know why. Now here's the good news. Something can be done about it. You can decide by what's going on and how it affects you, what you can do to change it and make it work. Let me tell you about the disciples and the day that they really had that was bad. Jesus had a very busy day. He'd been healing all over the place. They'd been walking all over the place in hot sand. Jesus was just plain tired. He said he was tired. He said, let's go to the other side, get on the Sea of Galilee, and let me go down and go to sleep. So Jesus went down to the bottom of the boat, got on one of the mats, and went to sleep. Now, everything is fine until in the middle of the sea, a storm takes place. Rain comes out of nowhere, starts falling on the boat, starts pushing the boat around all over the place, and it gets to the point where these fishermen, these are men that lived on the water, these fishermen are scared to death. That boat is tipping right and left. It looks like it's going to sink. It looks like it's going to go under the water. They don't know what to do. So what do? They worry. They're concerned. Finally, what they do is they rush down and they wake Jesus up. Now, Jesus is really sleeping. He's tired. He's very tired. He wants to rest. So they have trouble waking him up. Master, don't you care if we perish? Don't you realize we're about to die? Get up. Help us. Well, Jesus does get up, but he takes his time. He gets up, stretches, looks at the disciples. They know he was trying to sleep. What seems to be the problem? Look at the storm. The boat is about to sink. We're about to tip over. We're about to drown. Jesus looks at the storm, looks at the boat, looks at the faces of the disciples, and says, is that what's bothering you? He goes up to the front of the boat, holds his hands up, and says, peace, be still. Storm stops. Clouds no matter emit rain. Disciples are looking amazed. No more rain anymore, no more trouble, no more storm. The boat's not going to sink at all. He looks at it and says, what kind of man is this that the wind and the sea obey him when he tells them to stop? How do you handle your storms? I don't know what kind of storms you got. I know you got some. You got bills you can't pay. You got people that don't like you. You got things that don't feel good. You got bones that are hurting. You got hurt in your heart. And some of the storms you created. You feel guilty. Some of the storms are your fault. And my fault. We created storms together. But the boat is not going to sink if you call on Jesus. I know he looks like he's sleeping. He's tired. He has a right to sleep. But it's time for him to get up. When you get scared, when you get worried, you don't know what to do, you call on Jesus. So the bad news is You helped create the storm. And you're right. You are about to sink in the storm. The good news is right now you can call on Jesus for help, ask Him for guidance, tell Him you need the Spirit in your life, you need to understand how to get close to God and be safe, and you need to know that Jesus will lift His hand in the middle of the storm and say, peace, be still. You sit in the middle of the storm and you almost drown, it's your fault. You need to say, Jesus, don't you care if we perish? And then Jesus will tell you, not only do I love you, not only do I care, but I'll take care of you. In the middle of the storm, Jesus will say, peace, be still. Whatever your storm is right now, call on Him. Let Him take care of you.